M&M's, the only healthy way to start your morning. Hey guys, what's going on? Today we are going to talk about the NYX Lid Lingerie in the matte colors. I know I have this funky looking headband on, but it's serving kind of a dual purpose. My bangs are not cooperating, and I also want to keep my hair out of my eyes when I demo this product, so I know I look a little goofy, but let's go ahead and get past that because we are here to talk about the NYX Lid Lingerie in matte. I was at Ulta 2 days ago and I saw these. I hadn't heard of them, I hadn't seen them, and I was really intrigued because I swatched them in the store and they looked really pretty. So I have seen no reviews on this. I have no idea how they perform. I did swatch them on my arm a second ago because I did want to have them dried down for you for this video so you could see. Other than that, I have not played with these puppies except for swatching them in the store as well. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and actually read the claims for these online because I don't know if these are supposed to be worn as an eyeshadow by themselves or if they're supposed to be a base. I picked them up because I thought they would perform really well as a base. I had the Subculture palette in mind with this olive color because there's an olive eyeshadow in the Subculture palette, and I'm curious to see how shadows in the Subculture palette layer over bases because they are so pigmented. And then the other colors just kind of caught my attention. So if you're interested in seeing first impressions on the NYX Lid Lingerie, please keep watching. Alright you guys, so we are actually going to look up on the iPad what the claims for this product is because again, I do not know anything about that. I also am going to have creasy eyelids because I didn't want to actually set my eyes because sometimes I find when you set your eyes with like a powder, these types of like creamy eyeshadows do not work. So let's first read the claims online. So there are, first of all, 12 shades here, which is a nice shade range. And it says, adorn your eyes with the weightless Lid Lingerie matte eye tint. This delicate new assortment features 12 matte shades, said it right in the description, didn't even have to count there, ranging from muted mauve to mahogany red, to dusty lilac to deep brown. Each seductively sheer hue will leave your lids with an elegant flush of color. Okay, so to me that sounds a little more like a base or a like slap it on your eye. You really don't want too much going on and get out the door. It doesn't say anything about the longevity of the product or if they're supposed to last all day. The reviews look really, really good. I mean, everyone's giving it 5 stars on here, so I'm very curious to see how these perform. So I picked up 4 colors that are typically in my shade range. So let's go ahead and show you the swatches that I put on my arm about 10 minutes ago. They're all super dry and they don't seem to want to go anywhere. So the first one we have here, this pinkish shade, is number 21, Dynamic. The next one we have here, which almost on my arm looks like it's like a purplish mauve, that's number 16 and it's called Revel. But when you look at it in the container, it looks very different than what the final product looks like. In the container, it looks more of like a nudish pink, and then once it dries down, it's almost turning into like that purplish mauve color, which is interesting. Next to that, I have number 24, which is called So Not Sorry. So that's this guy right here. And then finally, the olive green color is Oh So Fine, which is right here. And that to me looks a little patchy when I swatched it on my arm. You can see that there. We are gonna go ahead and try these on the eyes today and see how they perform. These were $6.99 at Ulta and they were buy one, get one, like 50% off, which is why I picked up 4. Typically I wouldn't do that if I wasn't sure about a formula, but I did. So let's go ahead and see how they perform. So I'm thinking what we'll do is we will try the olive color and then more of one of the neutrals. So maybe we'll do the pink on the other eye and we'll just leave the browns out. Just so you know, this is a doe foot applicator, so you can always like put it on your hand and pick it up with like a synthetic brush if you wanted to. I'm gonna go ahead and just go in with the doe foot applicator. So on this side, I'm gonna go in with the pink. I did not set my eye. There's no powder on it. It's just the concealer. So it's a little tacky and you can see it's kind of creasy, and that's what I'm gonna go in. I think these will perform best like that rather than layer it over something like a powder, just because it's gonna set down, I can tell, into basically a matte eyeshadow. So I think I'll just take this all the way over my lid. It is a little hard, I'm gonna scoot in a little bit. It is a little hard to get that inner corner with the doe foot, but if you just like lightly tap, you can get in there. And I noticed from putting it on the back of my arm that these do dry down rather fast, so I don't want to take all the time in the world here. So I'm just gonna kind of get that into places where I want it and then use a fluffy brush to blend it out. Blending pretty nicely. Yeah, that's nice. I'm gonna blend out the bottom as well here because it's kind of shearing out the top as I blend. Yeah, that is actually really nice. And I would be totally comfortable going out with just that. Yeah, that's really pretty. Huh, that's awesome. That took like no time and it's getting pretty dry. It's definitely not tacky at all. So that's what that color looks like. When you blend it out, it almost goes into like a grayish pink, but I like that color. It's not like a crazy bright color, and just like they claimed, it's kind of just a sheer wash of color over your eye. But you could totally apply an eyeshadow over that and just really brighten that pink eyeshadow if you were putting something over that. So that was really easy. I'm really, really happy with that right now. I have dandruff in my hair. Cute. Yeah, I mean, that's like pretty much dried down. That is awesome. So let's go ahead and try the olive on the other color, on the other side, so we can look a little bit crazy here. I'm gonna just wipe a little bit off of the doe foot applicator because I feel like a lot of product comes off on the tip. So again, I think it's best to just go right in over your concealer or your foundation, whatever you have, to apply the shadow. I'm gonna try to place this just like I did the other one, all over the eye. Dip back in again. And then I'm not going to go into the inner corner until I have less product. That looks like a blade, like a saw blade. So now I'm going to just take that blending brush, once again, work the outer corners. Definitely want to blend that outer edge there. And it's like, as soon as I start touching it with my brush, I feel like it starts to kind of dry down, which can kind of be good and kind of be bad because I feel like I'm going to get to a point right now where I can't really blend and it's going to look not so great. Yeah, see, I don't think I'm as into that because it's, first of all, too high up for my liking. Grab a different fluffy brush. See if I can blend the edges a little more. Oh yeah, that's working actually. It's almost one of those shadows where it's kind of looking like I applied a crease color when I actually didn't. And I'm, as you guys know, if you've seen my other videos, I'm into that. That makes my life way easier. Yeah, that's actually pretty nice. Obviously this took a little longer to blend. I think I need to blend a little more here. It almost feels like an eyeshadow right now. It doesn't feel wet at all. I think if I did this again, I wouldn't apply quite so much product because I know how, now I know how much like it moves and how little you really need to be able to kind of spread this around. But that is actually really nice. I'm happy with both of these. If I get real close, you can see where I blended, it looks a little patchy. So I don't know if I'd take this green color and like put it on my eye and then run out the door. I'd probably want to use this as more of like a base, kind of like I was talking about. I feel like I look so crazy with two different colors on my eyes right now. But I feel like this is one of those shadows where you can, like this one is one of those shadows where you can just kind of apply it and get out the door. The olive is more of, I feel like, a base, but I kind of want to actually take it off and show you what the other two look like. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that right now. Pink came off really nicely, and the olive is coming off very nicely as well. Okay, so now I'm gonna take number 16, Rebel, which is this second color right here, who kind of like changes colors. Like you can see what it looks like in the container. And then the one next to it, which is So Not Sorry. So this one right here, which looks like that. And we are going to apply those on each of the eyes. So starting with Rebel on this eye. And with these lighter shades, it's just really easy to go in. You saw how I had to be a little more careful with the olive. These are real easy. This kind of reminds me of like a darker version. Well, it kind of reminds me of Laying Low and Painterly mixed together, actually. If you're familiar with the MAC paint pots, which is kind of what I feel like this is a play on. I'm just gonna blend that. I mean, literally this took 2 seconds. I feel like I'm already at a point where I could be done blending. Looks very natural, and it's also kind of doing that like gray undertone, and it's pretty dry, so that's what that one looks like. See how it like turns into this like this color that right here. It's strange, very strange. As it dries down, it almost turns like purplish gray. I don't know how much of a fan I am of that color, because it almost looks a little sick, you know, like if you're a little sick. That's what that one looks like. And then on the other side, we'll go into So Not Sorry. This is one of those that you have to take a little more time with as well. This is a pretty one. I like this one. I'm gonna kind of bring it up a little higher on my orbital bone there. I do like that one a lot. So see how this one almost looks a little like gray and like just sickly, I guess? That's that guy. And this is this. Sorry guys, camera shut off, but what I did is I took off that like sickly looking color, and sickly in my mind, and I'm going to prime my lid with some concealer, and then I'm going to apply this color all over this eye with my finger, and we're gonna see how that works since we haven't tried that yet. So that's fine by me, and then I'm just gonna take that So Not Sorry, keep wanting to say sorry, I'm not sorry. Going to do the same thing I did with that eye. I feel like the more I use these, the more I'm getting comfortable with like going in a little bit faster. The more I use these, as I've only used them as I'm doing this video. But, you know, when you try new things, you always kind of take precaution, right? So I'll go ahead and just leave it at that for now. Hooded eye problems. I'm just gonna start to take my pinky and kind of this is hard. I feel
feel like I keep having to like wipe, but I feel like the more it's drying down, the easier it is to kind of move the product. But I would definitely prefer my brush with this. Sorry, you guys probably can't even see what I'm doing here. I mean, it obviously blends, but the brush is just a little more seamless. And I feel like I'm like tugging at my eye, which is never a good thing. And I'm making my eye kind of water now, which is kind of removing my foundation from the corner because I'm pulling at my eye. But I mean, if you had no brushes, you could definitely make that work. I just think it looks a little more seamless with the brush. So you guys can see I was able to kind of make the dome shape here. I just kind of like pushed it up. So let me just apply a little more and grab my brush. See how I can just like place the product where I want it a little more with my brush. So I'm gonna do a video on like cheap Amazon brushes. I think I saw something like pop up on the Amazon Prime that like looked like a really nice brush set, and I think I want to try that, and that might be helpful for those of you who don't really have a full set of brushes, because I mean, you could just see how much better that looks when you actually have a brush, one that doesn't shed. So let's take this under the eye. This is going to be a long video for such a small product, but let's take this under the eye a little and blend it out with a pencil brush. You could probably take a Q-tip if you didn't have a pencil brush to do this as well. The more they dry down, the easier they definitely are to blend. So I kind of like to place it while it's wet and then blend. I like that. That's very simple, pretty neutral. I think they all have this like grayish undertone to them. I hope you guys can see that on camera, but I feel like every single one except for, I mean, even the olive one kind of has it a little bit. This like grayish undertone, which is kind of nice because it kind of aids with the transition. I like that. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this one. Let me just throw on a little mascara so we can see what everything looks like. All right, you guys, and here's what everything looks like. I'll look down so you guys can actually see my eyes with one coat of mascara. We're not gonna do lashes or anything like that. They all blended really easily. The only one, as you saw, that I had issues with was the olive color, which is the Oh So Fine. I think I blended a little too much with that one. But overall, I think these are a great idea. I think they will provide very, very nice bases. And then if you're in a rush, a really nice overall color. If you don't have brushes, you can make these work. I think they definitely look a little bit better if you have a brush and you can kind of place and blend the color. But keep in mind, while these are wet, they are not as easy to blend as they are as they dry down. So it's totally doable, like I was doing when they're wet, to kind of start placing the color, but then you can really get to the blending as they start to dry down. And I do not think they're going anywhere. I mean, you guys, like, see that? No one's gonna be doing that on your eye. I'm gonna wear this all day and I'll update you in the description down below to see how it wore. But overall, I definitely think I'll be grabbing these, especially for bases. My two favorite colors of the bunch were definitely the pink color, which is dynamic, and the one that I have on my eyes right now, So Not Sorry. I definitely think I will wear these on their own. The other two, I'm not a huge fan of Rebel, the one that kind of turns into that like sickly looking color, and as it shears out, it just, the gray really takes over. So I don't know if I'll be grabbing for that unless I use it as a base on more of like a mauve eyeshadow look or something like that. And the olive, I'm gonna try it with the Subculture palette and see what I think. I think I just went a little too heavy and started blending out a little too much in the demo here, but with practice, things might change. So let me know if you guys have seen these, what you think. I really hadn't heard anything about them, but I am very happy I found them. So that's pretty much it for this one, you guys. Let me know what you think of these. Have you tried them? Have you seen them? I know I've definitely seen the lid lingerie, but I have never seen this. I don't know if I'm totally out of the NYX loop or what, but let me know what you guys think of this. Let me know what you thought of the demo, the swatches, of the colors. Love to hear from you guys. I definitely read every single one of your comments. I try to respond to everyone. Sometimes I get a little crazy busy and I can't, but I definitely read them all. Otherwise, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. It means the absolute world to me, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.
Bye guys.